Hello viewers, welcome back. Today we are going to look at the basic facts of the origin of cocoa and how it got spread to the world. The written history of cocoa began possibly as early as the mid-3rd century AD. According to a Spanish botanist called José Cuatrecasa, an early broad territory for natural Theobroma, cocoa comprised the north and the western part of the Amazon basin, Central America and southern Mexico. The word Theobroma came from two Greek words. The Theo means gauze, and then the broma means food. So basically, Theobroma means food of the gods. Theobroma is also a scientific name for a chocolate tree. So the Theobroma cocoa, which is translated as cocoa, that is food of the gods, was coined by a Swedish scientist called Carl von Linnaeus in his famous book Species Plantarum. Species Plantarum in 1753. Other botanists post that Theobroma cocoa was a wild South American tree taken to Central America by native sea traders from Venezuela. But the widely known word cocoa was derived from the major Socan language, which is Kakawa or Kakawati, a language family still spoken in some part of Mexico today. So when the Spanish arrived on the soil of Mexico in 1519, North America already had several leading cocoa growing areas, places like Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, and other parts of Central America. Because of the value of cocoa held among the South and the North American people, the Spanish fought wars to control these leading growing centers. They fought wars to control the growing cocoa areas. So when they won, they forced the conquered communities to supply cocoa as tribute. So after the conquest, cocoa cultivation spread to the Caribbean islands and other parts of South America. So now let's look at how it spread from South America to the Caribbean, Asia, and finally to West Africa. We start from Venezuela, one of the South American countries, which was among the first South American countries to cultivate cocoa in the 16th century. From here, it spread to Jamaica. Jamaica is a Caribbean island nation which experienced a cocoa boom around 1670. Another Caribbean island nation where cocoa was grown is Trinidad. The species was introduced to Trinidad from Venezuela in 1678. So this same time, it was also introduced to Martinique and Haiti. So from here, it spread to Brazil. Although there did always been wild cocoa trees in the Amazon basin, but Brazil and Ecuador was the first countries to cultivate the Forasterius species of cocoa in the 18th century. In the Brazilian state of Bahia, cocoa was planted by one Frenchman, who brought the cocoa. He brought the seed from another Brazilian state of Para in 1746. But it was not until 1825. And in the 19th century, Ecuador became the largest producer of cocoa in the world. So now these are the countries where the cocoa started and then spread to around South America, around the South, Central, and the North America. So now we move to Asia. So the Asia, from here, we move to Asia. And then Asia, the country that we will take is Philippines. You see, Philippines is in Asia. The history of cocoa in Philippines began around 1600. It was believed by botanists that cocoa was gotten from wild trees and domesticated. So from there, the cultivation spread to Sulawesi and Java Islands in Indonesia. From here, it spread to Sri Lanka and India in 1798. Now, these are the areas of Asia where it got and then started spreading. So it spread up to India and then Sri Lanka. So now let's look at how it got to West Africa. After the independence of Brazil from Portugal, the cocoa species of Amelonado. When you say Amelonado, it's one of the species of cocoa. It has several species, but this Amelonado species is like a melon. The pod of the cocoa looks like a melon. That's why it is given the name Amelonado. So this species was taken from Bahia, a state of Brazil, to Sao Tome of Portugal in 1822. So 3 decades later, which is in 1955, it was taken to Fernando Po from Portugal, Sao Tome to Fernando Po. Yeah, Fernando Po is an island of Equatorial Guinea located in West Africa. This island was named after a 15th century Portuguese navigator and explorer of the West African coast. He was the first European to see the islands in the Gulf of Guinea around 1472. His name was Fernando Po. He named this island after his own name, but today this island is called Bioko. So from Fernando Po, which is now Bioko, cocoa spread West Africa through Ghana and Nigeria to form a basis of its cultivation in Africa. Today, 4 West African countries, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Cameroon, count for over 70% of the world cocoa production. So this is where we are going to end it. So the next time we will look at how it got spread in Africa or through Africa. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. See you.